Good afternoon, ma'am. So, my topic for this afternoon is all about period of probation and probation conditions. So, it is all under Module 4 of the Correctional Administration subject, and it is just a continuation of the other reportings presented. So, first, let's tackle about period of probation. So, the period of probation of a convicted offender to a term of imprisonment of not more than 1 year shall be 2 years, and in all other cases shall not exceed 6 years. So, period. Period means the length of time of his probation. So, for example, an offender, so offender means he is convicted by a final judgment. If he has term of imprisonment of not more than 1 year, so the period of his probation must be 2 years. And in all other cases, if his probation continues, must not exceed 6 years. So, we can say that the minimum term of probation is 2 years, and it has a maximum period of 6 years. It must not lapse. Next, let's move to probation conditions. Under probation conditions, there are two conditions presented. First is the mandatory conditions, and the second one is the special or discretionary condition. So under mandatory conditions, there are two again. So first, present himself to the probation officer designated to undertake his supervision at each place as may be specified in the order within 72 hours from receipt of the said order. So he must report to the probation officer within 72 hours after he receives the order of the court granting probation. So, number 2 is report to the probation officer at least once a month at such time and place as specified by said officer. So, he must report to the probation officer at least once. Once is enough. So, for example, in the month of May, so he has the obligation to report at least once a month. So, we can say that if he doesn't report, he is not going to be specified as one of the probationists. And next is the special or discretionary conditions. So, additional conditions imposed on the probationer which are provided towards his correction and rehabilitation outside of prison and right in the community to which he belongs. So, discretionary or special conditions. So, additional conditions. So, there are additional conditions imposed onto the probationer. So, the enumeration is not exclusive. So, additional means the adding of something. So, it is said there that the enumeration is not exclusive. So, no matter how many, it is on the probationer himself. So, as long as the probationer's constitutional rights are not jeopardized. So, next, let's move to special or discretionary conditions. So, additional conditions imposed on the probationer which are provided towards his correction and rehabilitation outside of prison and right in the community to which he belongs. So, the enumeration is not exclusive as long as the probationer's constitutional rights are not jeopardized. So, this means that additional means adding of something. So, there's an additional condition imposed onto the probationer. So, it is on the probationer himself on how he would do it and how he would make his part. So, next, let's move to the last part, which is a violation of any conditions may lead to. So, first, restrictive modification. The second is the revocation. And the third one is serving of sentence originally imposed. So, if an offender or the probationee violated one of the conditions presented in this topic, so he must be penalized by restrictive modification. So, restrictive modification is restriction. So, you are not allowed to go out anymore. So, for example, you are serving your probation out in the community. So you will be back in behind bars. And aside from that, there will be a modification or an additional punishment instead, aside from you are in the jail. So the second one is the revocation. Revocation is the cancellation of promise. So for example, you have granted probation and you violated such conditions. So as a punishment or penalty, there will be a cancellation of the said probation. And last, serving of a sentence originally imposed. So for example, you had a term of imprisonment less than 3 years. So it is good that you have granted probation, but you violated it, so you'll be back in the jail and you will be serving the sentence originally imposed. So you will be serving the 3 years inside the jail. So the cancellation of probation because someone has violated it. So thank you.